Kavanaugh's toxic net neutrality record went mostly unnoticed during the hearing. It's no secret that Democrats were attempting to press Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh on a laundry list of topics during his confirmation hearings last week. Yet one issue that initially seemed like it would be part of their pushback, net neutrality, was scarcely mentioned. Last month, several Senate Democrats criticized Kavanaugh's views on net neutrality, highlighting a dissent he wrote in a case that upheld the 2015 Open Internet Order, the FCC rule that enshrined the Internet protections that was rescinded last year. Kavanaugh's disappointment to the Supreme Court was high stakes for many reasons, Democrats argued, including the future of net neutrality. Senator Edward Markey told reporters that the fate of the Internet would be decided in the nation's highest court, and having Kavanaugh, who argued in his dissent that the First Amendment rights of Internet service providers were violated. Oh, wow. What a stretch. The First Amendment rights of Internet service providers. Here's a rule of thumb. Whenever you find yourself defending the corporate personhood of an entity over the public good, you're wrong. That's the rule of thumb. That's the biggest takeaway. So, and obviously Kavanaugh's wrong, but you're defending the First Amendment rights of an internet service provider, a corporate entity, saying that them being able to price gouge consumers, them being able to slow the upload speeds and slow the playback speeds for different types of content based on the creator's ability to pay, is violating their First Amendment. They're violating the First Amendment of everybody else. That's what's really going on. They're hurting the First Amendment. That's what they're doing. They're hurting it by stifling anybody who can't afford to pay them, which are all independent media ventures, including myself, including pretty much everyone else on YouTube. And that's the type of logic Brett Kavanaugh uses. He says it's about the First Amendment rights of the internet service providers. What First Amendment right is that? Their right to dictate what you can and can't see at a certain speed based on who pads their pocketbook. Their right to price gouge the products that they offer consumers more so than they already do. We already pay more for the internet than almost every other country, and our service is shittier than a lot of them. People over in England get better internet. They pay less for it than we do because we privatized it in the first place. We should have made it a utility in the first place. We screwed up. We allowed an organized... What our internet infrastructure is an organized duopoly. That is essentially what it is, with companies merging all the time. So they agree upon what areas they will and won't invest in and who will invest in where, and then they price gouge the market the best they can because they have a monopoly over it, essentially, and they agree on where those monopolies happen. So it's an organized duopoly. And our internet is not great. Customer service sucks. And we pay more for it. And net neutrality rules are the protections that we have. They're essential because without them, it will get way worse. It already has started. And Kavanaugh's not for that, and it's not being talked about much. Now, what I want to see is a permanent fix for net neutrality, which is municipal broadband. And that's something that you can start trying to do in your own backyard. Chattanooga, Tennessee has done it. Sandy, Oregon has done it. Longmont, Colorado's doing it. Fort Collins, Colorado's doing it. Tacoma, Washington's doing it. Every community in the country needs to have municipal broadband where the internet is treated as a public utility. The cities that have already done it and have succeeded at it, they have the best internet in the country at a reasonable price. And I know a lot of you guys have heard me repeat this, and I'm not repeating it because I forgot that I've already mentioned it. I'm repeating it because I do have an active task force, and I do want to recruit people for it. And I have been getting emails on a regular basis because of it, and I'm thrilled about that. And what I'm trying to do is I want to put together resources on this channel. So my next steps are talking to people that have already done this in their communities and getting their roadmap. Because I want to put together a proposal to bring to my community in Pasadena. And I want to also be a web resource for other people throughout the country that are trying to do similar things. Right now, people have said, I'm going to show up to my city hall, Ron. What did you say at yours? And I sent them the transcript of what I said. And you can also find those videos online of me speaking at my city halls, which I did multiple times. So, yeah, it looks like we're not going to have a lot of help at the top of the court. So the best thing we can do is fight for protections at the state level because that is important in the short term. Net neutrality, you don't have to be either for net neutrality or municipal broadband. You can be for both. You can fight for both. And just know it for what it is. The net neutrality protections, they're going to save us in the short term. They're going to keep a free and open internet in the short term. And we need every state to do it. And here in California, we have a damn good net neutrality bill. It will hopefully be signed by Jerry Brown soon. And then that really helps everybody. It doesn't just help California. It helps the rest of the country, because the rest of the country will see what California did. And because California is such a wide customer base, it's going to be hard for ISPs to screw over consumers. Because if you get two big states, like New York does it, other states do it, all of a sudden they can unroll these packages in most of the customer base in the country, so they're screwed, the internet service providers. I mean, they're not screwed. They're making record profits anyway, but they can't be as corrupt as they want to be, basically. And again, go to ronplacone.com, email me that way if this is of interest to you.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your